and welcome back from Colon to Cosmos. It's Nikki here with you again. So what is the gut anyway? What am I talking about when I talk about the gut? It's really a really long tube which goes from your mouth to your anus, 9 meters if you could take it out of somebody and lay it out in a long line. And it consists of different sections. So you go in through the mouth, you have the esophagus coming down here behind the heart, then it goes into your stomach towards the left, and then it goes into the first of the 3 parts of your small intestine called the duodenum, and this fits like a lovely snug little C shape around your pancreas about here. Then it goes into the second part of the small intestine, the jejunum, and then it wriggles all the way down through the ileum, the final part of your small intestine. And then bottom right quarter of the body, it goes through a very important little valve, the ileocecal valve, into the colon. And that rises up, the ascending, across, transverse, down, descending, wriggles through an S-shaped sigmoid into the rectum, anal canal, and we all know what happens then. So this whole big system is your gut, and it has its own amazing nervous system in it called the enteric nervous system, which we'll talk about another week. But if you think about it, everything inside this tube, from mouth through all its twists and turns to anus, is actually the outside world, until some of it, nutrients hopefully, is absorbed through the walls of the small intestine into the bloodstream, up to the liver, where all the good stuff is used to repair and build and create the body that helps us express ourselves in this life that we have. So it's the outside world coming in. So when you think about that, think about, well, how do we respond to that outside world coming in? And what defines that response? How do you respond to the outside world coming in? Are you kind of relaxed, confident, flexible? Or maybe you feel more guarded and fearful? Or maybe you're quite tense and strong? And you might have your own different ways of responding at different times in your life, different times of the day even. But how you respond makes a huge difference to the tension and strain patterns anywhere in that long tube, and how well you can absorb the nutrients from your food, and how well your enteric nervous system is able to function. So what determines these different responses? What can create these tension and strain patterns, and perhaps places where we don't function well in the gut? Well, mainly it's our emotional history. It's everything that happened to us from being in the womb all the way through our life. So you can imagine just things like maybe we were bullied at school, maybe we didn't have very good parenting, maybe we went through difficult relationship breakups. All different kinds of things are going to leave their history, their footprints in the sand of our body, and especially in the tube, which receives the outside world and responds to it just like that in a moment, even if we're not aware of it. The other thing, of course, that can affect how we respond are physical things. Maybe you fell off your tricycle and really hurt yourself when you were 2. Maybe you had some surgery, or maybe you had a colonoscopy and endoscopy and found that very traumatic, and that left a lot of tension in the system. So maybe you had an infection when you perhaps went travelling around Africa, and that's left a scar or a mark somewhere in this tube. So all of these things through our life can combine to determine the state of our long tube, all the way from here to the anus, in different places, how it might work, how it can receive the world coming in. So in order to connect better with this, I'm going to use a word which describes another of the senses, interoception. This is our felt sense of our inner world. And quite often when we're really busy going about our normal lives, we don't always connect very well with what's going on inside us, and maybe we don't understand what we're hearing anyway. So I'm going to do just a short meditation now, a couple of minutes, for you to begin to re-establish a friendly relationship with your long tube. So just find somewhere really comfortable to be, maybe put a hand here, maybe on your belly, whatever feels right. Just let go of some of that tension, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, let your face relax. And just notice your breathing for a moment, without trying to change it, without judging it. Just notice how you breathe in, how you breathe out. If it helps, you can close your eyes so your focus is inside. And then just visualizing and feeling that tube coming down from your throat into your stomach, into the twists and turns of the small intestine, colon, and just begin perhaps to get a sense of how much tension are you aware of there? Are there parts where you feel tension, or maybe it all feels really relaxed? Maybe it feels a bit jittery. Just notice without judging. And if there are places which don't feel very relaxed, then just send some breath there perhaps. Some attention. The body loves your attention. And you could always spend a couple of minutes, or 5 minutes, or 10 minutes doing this when you have time if you want to. And we can in this way begin to learn and get insights as to how we receive the outside world. And when you finish, just allow yourself a moment to take your hands off, come back to your breath. And whilst you're coming back, I'm just going to read you a poem about how we remember things in the body, about the fascia, or this connective tissue, creating this tube. Droplets strung like crystal beads along webs and ropes. Early morning dew scattered bright necklaces on hedgerows. Fresh, cool brooks and rivers outlining paths, fields, hill and valleys. Fluid landscape quenching the earth's thirst for stories, connections, information, growth. So in our bodies, the endless web of fascia, living streams pouring through delicate networks of tissue, whispering questions, answers, waters of the spirit, matrix of the soul. The most delicate tendrils reaching into every cell, surrounding every organ, muscle and bone, softly spoken provider of biological wisdom. Listen from a peaceful place, gently travel the internal pathways. Rest a while and breathe. Where the fascia is paused, unmoving, hear perhaps a long forgotten moment. Stay a while and breathe. Feel the body's story, nourish the soul.